Welcome to Flip the Script, and here we go with a bonus episode on Bleacher Creatures, kind of a stuffed animal, kind of an athletic figure, created in 2011 by Matthew Hoffman, and we have a little bit of a collection. So what started out as a couple here or there, we're now up to 43, so we're going to go through and tell a short story about all 43 and show them to you. Our very special guest is Shaylee, who's going to go over her 2 Bleacher Creatures to start us.
Okay, well, this is a mini one. I guess it's rare because it's mini. But all I remember about this one is playing with it in the car in Philly, and it was like raining, and so that's a distinct
Who is it?
memory. Chase Utley.
Mini Chase Utley. Super hard to find because when they first came out, they made 10-inch and 14-inch before they decided to just go straight 14 or straight 10-inch.
Then this one might be the best one of all time because it's Ryan Howard, which is my favorite baseball player, and when we went to see his
Fall League game,
Fall
when he was
League
inducted
game,
into the Fall League Hall of Fame.
he was doing like signatures, and then he like left before we could get mine, but then my dad was like, "Can you please sign this?" And then they took it back. And this was the last thing that he signed.
Last thing he signed, they took it and he signed it for him.
Yeah.
For her.
Well, that's all.
Those are her 2.
Okay, now at random, Shay is going to throw us some.
Shay will throw us one. One of us will grab it. We will hold it up, and one of us will talk about it. Here we go.
Okay, Hunter Pence.
14-inch. Make sure you just... Or is that the 10? No, that's a 10-inch.
Okay, Hunter Pence. I have very fond memories of Hunter Pence. He was always really nice when he was on the Phillies. One of my favorite players. Played the outfield. Went on to win, I think, a World Series with the Giants. I remember getting this one for Easter. And, yeah, he was always really cool and good player.
That is the 14-inch. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
there are about 10 of these that will be the taller versions. As of now, they only make the 10-inch ones. Hunter Pence was a great player, and we tanked so soon that he didn't get to stay very long. Cliff Lee, forever known for choosing Philadelphia. One of Ruben Amaro's worst trades in the history of the world. Had we kept Cliff Lee in 2010 and had him with Roy Halladay, I firmly believe we win the series in 10, just as we should have won the series in 11 and could have won it in 9. But in 2009, he carried us. If Hamels could have done anything in 9 like he did in 8, we would have also won that. Thank you, Cliff Lee, for choosing Philadelphia.
This one, Danny Briere. I always
14-inch.
You don't need to specify.
Hey,
just stop.
They're rare. The 14
Just
inches
stop.
are rare. They stopped making them a long time ago.
Anyways, I met Danny Briere at a rookie practice. His son was playing. I got him to sign an autograph puck, which was really cool. And I always used to copy his celebration when I played hockey, where he would like go down and do that. Like that.
Some of these will be repeats because of the different sizes. Here is a 14-inch Claude Giroux. Amazing figure. Love him. G's probably my favorite hockey player of all time. He's going to be making appearances later on in this episode as well.
Okay. JVR, when he wore number 21, part of the 2010 team.
The original time, yep.
Yeah, JVR.
We missed most of his glory years, but we're hoping he's
traded to the
going to lead us to a cup.
Maple Leafs.
Here is my Ryan Howard, the non-signed version. Also a 14-inch. Incredibly rare because they don't make those very much anymore, and they're pretty much all 10-inch now. But Ryan Howard making a second appearance.
Allen Iverson led us to the 2001 finals. You don't really like Iverson, that's why I'm talking about him. Led us to the 2001 finals. Came up short. Very controversial figure sometimes, and the uniform logo sucks. But he does have dreads and a headband, which is kind of cool.
But I'm glad they put him in that uniform because it exemplifies the time, and he's the one that wore that probably the most with Iguodala.
2001.
Here we go. So that was a 10-inch down to a 10-inch. Cole Hamels. Cole Hamels, loved him. Was seriously disappointed when we didn't get him coming back from Texas. And then we didn't sign him, and now he's with the Braves. I think the Phillies have missed on re-signing him. I knew he had some left in him. Forever thankful and grateful to you, Cole, for 2008. Get your hat down there, buddy. I still hope that he's going to somehow pitch for the Phillies again. Thank you, Cole.
I doubt it. Next, G again.
10
Different
inch.
G.
10-inch G.
We already talked about G. Greatest hockey player. Probably in Philadelphia, close to Bobby Clark.
Scotty Hartnell, you want to do that one?
Yeah, Hartnell. Part of the 2010-ish teams. Always got in fights with Pittsburgh fans, which I enjoyed. Really cool guy.
Hartnell down.
Hartnell down, yeah. Whenever he fell, he'd donate money to a charity. And he also kind of looks like Gritty.
And it was sad when that team kind of got broken up that never got to win a cup for us in the early 2010s. Brian Dawkins, possibly the greatest Eagle ever. Definitely top 3, top 5. Loved to see him when he went into the Hall of Fame. Just incredible. Was so disappointed when they released him and let him sign with the Broncos. But Brian Dawkins, forever an Eagle. Love that he's got the gloves on in this too.
Okay. Jimmy Rollins, one of the best Phillies of the 2000s.
J-roll.
In 2000, I think 7, he had a 30-30-30 season, which was
That was his
cool.
MVP year, right?
Yeah, his MVP year. Led us to a World Series in 2008 with Chase Utley and Ryan Howard in the pinstriped uniform, number 11.
We met Rollins a couple times, and he's always very gracious.
He signed
for
a
us.
baseball for me in his car, which was cool.
He's signed for us a few times. Maurice Edu, super rare MLS Philadelphia Union, 10-inch. To my knowledge, the only Union one that was ever made. Had to get this one. Edu never really got to flourish, kind of ran into injuries year in, year out. Was a great player before he got there, but love this one because it's super rare, because there's the only Philadelphia Union Bleacher Creature that exists.
Jakub Voracek in the white jersey. Voracek's been part of the team for a while now. Came over from Columbus. Been helping the team this year. Hopefully he can get us a cup too. One of the more longer tenured Flyers too.
It's a great figure too because the hair and the
hair
beard
is pretty
and stuff.
funny. Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, Mikel Franco, the great disappointment. But this Bleacher Creature is not a disappointment because it's the only one where he's wearing, the only one that I know of where you're wearing sunglasses, and he's also got the dreads. It's a great figure. The great disappointment. Where did he end up signing this year?
Kansas City.
This was the guy that was untouchable. Couldn't trade. Kind of like Dominic Brown all those years. But ended up not being able to get it done for us. But it is a great Bleacher Creature.
Michael Vick.
14-inch.
Part of the team back when Macklin, Deshaun, and McCoy were all part of the team. Helped us in 2010s. Like I said, he was injured in a previous video, so Kevin Cobb got to start. One of the most unstoppable quarterbacks on Madden. He runs so fast, it's not even funny. And helped us win Miracle at the Meadowlands #2.
Yeah, controversy-wise, we're just not even going to go there.
Yeah.
Moving on. Shane Victorino, the Flying Hawaiian, also a 14-inch. A lot of these 14-inch ones we got the first year or two, 2011, 2012. Also, we're able to meet him, get his autograph. Super nice guy. He used to just always sign SV8. Was
one
sad
of my favorite signatures.
Sad to see him go, but a great part of that Phillies dynasty. Thank you, Shane.
Ben Simmons, one of the best 76ers right now. Still can't shoot a jump shot, and he's in like his 3rd or 4th year. Pretty pathetic that he can't do that. But I do have fun watching him play because he just drives the lane and dominates.
There are actually 3 different Ben Simmons Bleacher Creatures. We only have one of them. There's one in a blue jersey, and there's one where his hair is different. Ben, I love to watch you play. Keep working on the jumper. Joel Embiid. I missed NBA season too, like I missed hockey season. Love the hair in this one. There's also another one of Embiid. It's exactly the same, but it has the blue jersey on it. Embiid, I don't know what you're doing right now, but I hope you're healthy. And I hope you're staying in shape. We need you if we're going to make any kind of run in the playoffs.
He's probably playing video games. This one, one of the
most
recent ones. It freaks me out. It scares me a little bit. It's Carter Hart. You can see on the back. You can't really tell by the face, other than it does say Hart. But he's got like all of his goalie pads on. Only like one of the only ones that I've seen with goalie pads.
I love that one because they put all the pads on it, and I think
the
it's
helmet's
great.
freaky.
I think that's one of the two of the newest figures that we've gotten. I think that's a great figure. Love that they made Carter Hart. It should be noted, by the way, they're only Bleacher Creature used to have all the leagues. To my knowledge, right now, all they have is NHL and NBA. They no longer have MLB, which is why you won't see Harper in this. They no longer have NFL. But you will see some current Eagles. We just haven't gotten to them yet. Next up, the man, the myth, the legend. Probably Mike Schmidt along with Charles Barkley are probably my 2 favorite athletes all time across any sport. Loved Mike Schmidt, was my hero growing up. So happy that they went retro and made some of these. The stash is perfect. The iconic 80s uniform is perfect. Mike Schmidt, you are a legend forever. Got to meet him once, was super classy. Always love Mike Schmidt.
Yes, Nick Foles, the greatest quarterback of all time, won us a Super Bowl. Now, this figure was made before he came back to the Eagles, so this one probably was made around the time that he threw the 7 touchdown passes against Oakland. But then he came back. I always used to make jokes that we had this figure.
We did, and
then
we
he
kept
came
it.
back, and I said we have the starter and the backup now, which is kind of funny. But he ended up winning us a Super Bowl, so I love this figure.
What's funny is that figure
Nick Foles forever.
when he left Philly the first time would massively went on clearance, and then when he came back, it was super hard to find when he led us to the Super Bowl. Who's up next?
Ooh,
Jason Kelsey, go ahead.
Okay, Jason Kelsey with the ponytail in the back.
Sometimes it's just those little things that make it so great.
The beard is awesome.
Attention to detail.
Kelsey, one of the best centers in Eagles history. Really funny guy. Shay refers to herself as Jason Kelsey a lot because she is the center. Number 62, great figure. Yeah.
Glad that he's still with the team. Connor Barwin.
Disappointment.
Big defensive signing. He had a couple of good years for us. I like this figure. Again, the facial hair on it's great. The little buzz on the top. Overall, it's a good figure. He's a high-class guy, and he's still with the team, I think, in an executive fashion right now. Good guy. Like him.
Shane Gostisbehere. So now if we're talking disappointment, we can talk about Gostisbehere. He had a dominant first couple of years, and then he kind of really just let it go. He's been down in the minors for a while. Still one of my favorite players. I hope that he can somehow rebound. The emoji shirts and stuff.
When he first hit, it was so amazing. I also like that first year he came out with the Flyers, the little bit of extra hair on the back. I've always felt like it was kind of unfair, though. I kind of always felt like they gave him a receding hairline, which I didn't feel like he deserved. But Ghost, we need you. Great to have you back. Who's next? Oh, the Doctor. Oh, my goodness. When I talk about Charles Barkley and Mike Schmidt, and, you got to throw Julius Erving in there, too. Unfortunately, I was younger and missed most of his prime years in the 70s, but I can still remember them winning in 83. Used to see him when he came into Denver every year. I always feel like the Doctor never gets his due. Every time they talk about the top 10 greatest players, no one ever mentions Erving, which I think is criminal because he was MJ before MJ was there. He was a lot of people before they were there, and he loses some of his stature because he had ABA stuff, but I mean, he had 2 ABA titles. He was the MVP of that league virtually every single year. Had those earlier years been played in the NBA as well, you're talking about someone that could have had 5 or 6 titles. Even with the Sixers, they had the chance in 77, 80, 82, lost all of those. They could have won all of those, plus the earlier ones that he won in the ABA. I mean, he ends up walking with 3 between the ABA and NBA, but it could have easily had 6 or 7. The legend of probably the top person that I haven't met in my life, sport athlete that I would like to meet, Julius Erving. If you're out there, I really want to meet you one day.
All right, resuming here is another Claude Giroux figure. They kind of just changed the hair again. We've talked about G.
I think that's generation 3G. But I like how they made the subtle changes for certain players. LaShawn McCoy, who still wants to come back to Philly. My goodness, Chip Kelly, I still can't stand you for what you did to Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and LaShawn McCoy, getting rid of all of my favorite players and somehow keeping Riley Cooper. I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that. But LaShawn McCoy would have been probably one of the greatest Eagles ever all time had he stayed. He's still the Eagles' leading rusher and probably will be. Multiple chances for him to come back. We haven't picked up on it.
Have a chance now.
He wants to come back now as long as he's willing to be a backup role and take a decent
train Miles Sanders
pay cut. I'd love to have him as a backup. LaShawn McCoy, the snow game, one of my favorite moments watching TV all time.
Traded for Kiko Alonso.
Traded for nothing.
Carson Wentz.
Yes.
The Wentz wagon. You can argue he also led us to a Super Bowl, but he got injured in the Rams game.
Without the regular season, we don't get home field. He
hasn't been as mobile as he was before that injury. I'm hoping he can get mobile again. Hop on the Wentz wagon because it's going to happen again. A lot of people say our Super Bowl window's out. I don't know if I'd agree with that.
It's a new Well, with the team that we had, it probably is, but we rebuild, we reload, and hopefully it will lead to something. Wayne Simmons, how I miss you.
Wayne Train.
Wayne with us for so long, came over in the 11 trade for Jeff Carter, I believe. You know, when you think back, when we traded Richards and we traded Carter in the same summer of 11, we ended up getting Voracek. We ended up getting Couturier. There was 4 players.
Voracek,
We drafted Couturier with the
Couturier.
pick. Voracek, Simmons, and I'm forgetting one other guy. But we ended up getting 4 really good players that would stay with us.
Was it Shen?
Yes, and Shen in the trade, who we would then trade to St. Louis. We ended up getting 4 really good players for those 2. Obviously, the Kings went on to win the Cup. We haven't gone on to win the Cup. Wayne Simmons, ultimate competitor, went to New Jersey. Where'd they trade him before?
Buffalo.
I'd love to see, maybe next year at the trade deadline, pick him back up for another Cup run. Wayne, we love you. Ultimate fighter.
Michael Carter Williams.
Ooh, that's a rarity that they made, and he was gone too soon. Michael Carter Williams, great rookie of the year, and then we traded him. It's kind of just been average since then.
I think he's with the Bucks last time I heard
who
from
he's
him.
with now, but man, part of the process that we bailed on him. Greg Luzinski, another great 80s figure. Glad that they made. Enjoy his barbecue. Also like the hair. Anything else you want to say about him?
Was part of the 1980 World Series team. Came up with some clutch hits.
One thing we're missing on Bleacher Creatures is I'd love to see a powder blue, but they no longer have baseball, so that's not going to happen.
Rocky, the best Philadelphia sports figure ever.
That is a great figure. Now, they also did make his opponents. There's an Apollo Creed, an Ivan Drago, and a Clubber Lang. Didn't get any of those. There's also another one where he's got his yellow robe on. Didn't get that one.
He loses that fight to Clubber Lang in Rocky 3 with the yellow and black. And then beats, in these shorts, he beats Clubber Lang the second time and Ivan Drago. So
yeah, that's the iconic Rocky that we know and love.
And then he gives these shorts to the worst Rocky movie, Rocky 5, to Tommy Gunn, who sucks.
Does he give him to Adonis Creed?
He also does give him to Adonis.
Maybe a different pair.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin. This is how dedicated we are to Philly. They make historical figures, and we got Ben Franklin. Who is more of a historical figure in Philadelphia than Ben Franklin? Very, very bad hairline on this, but that's okay. He's got the glasses.
It's realistic.
It's realistic. It's great. Ben Franklin, this is the level we take our Bleacher Creature collection.
He flew a kite with a key on it once.
Got,
discovered electricity.
Was that his grave that we pulled up to next time?
Yes, you said that we would never,
ever go to visit Ben Franklin's grave. A couple years ago,
dare you, sir?
I said I wasn't.
How dare you?
I said I wasn't going to go out of my way to see that and traipse around downtown. And we end up going to the Mint, and where I end up parking, literally, there's a whole bunch of people gathered right next to my parking spot, right across the fence. And what was it? Ben Franklin's grave. So I didn't go out of my way. I held to my word, but we did see it. Ben, thank you.
America. This one makes me sad. It's Roy Halladay, one of my favorite players of all time. I miss Roy a lot. Yeah, one of the most dominant. Threw a no-hitter in the playoffs against the Reds. Threw a perfect game against the Marlins in the old stadium that's now where the Dolphins play. Yeah, do you have anything to say about Roy?
The 10 and 11 seasons that he gave us were unbelievable. Unfortunately, he was hurt most of 12 and 13 and wasn't able to do much those years. But what could have been, that 7 to 11 run I'm a firm believer, should have ended in at least 3 series victories. And we only got the 1, which honestly, I think the 9, 10, and 11 teams are all better than the 8 team, but that's the way it goes. That's a story for another day. We do miss you, Roy. All right. Getting down to the final ones here. Franklin the dog. The new mascot that was introduced a couple years ago. Well done. They've got it on the back. I like his choice of numbers. 76.
He actually wears a paw now.
Franklin is better than Hip Hop. We've met Hip Hop. Franklin the dog is actually the one main mascot in Philadelphia that we have not had the chance to meet yet.
Would you rather see Big Shot make a comeback?
No, I like Franklin the dog. I think he does a good job. We have not been able to run him down at a game. It was on my list of things to do in March. The game that we're going to go to, because we have pitchers with some of the other ones, but we do not have a pitcher with Franklin. So Franklin, we'll be looking for you next time we hit Philly. Keep up the good work.
Swoop, another hard mascot to meet, but we have met Swoop. We met him in the Eagles locker room in 2010 on a stadium tour. Yep. He's got the wings, he's got the tail, and he's got, the feathers that come down. Really cool figure. He's got really cool shoes too. You can see the shoes. Largely regarded as the third best mascot in Philadelphia, but there's not much else that you could do if you're the Eagles. This is a perfect mascot.
Yeah, I love Swoop. He's
Yeah.
awesome. Does a great job. The costume is great. You went as him for Halloween one year.
I did.
Philly Fanatic. Now, this is a rarity because obviously we have very nice plush Philly Fanatics, but this is a miniature one. This isn't even a 10-inch. This is an 8-inch. I feel like Bleacher Creatures never fully took on the Fanatic like they should have, and maybe licensing got in the way, but they made this 8-inch. They never made a 14. They never made a 10-inch, all the other ones. So it always looks too small when we put it with our collection. Wish they would have done a better Philly Fanatic, but obviously there's other ways to get Philly Fanatic. But the greatest, Philly Fanatic. He's the best mascot all time. Lawsuit still pending. Hopefully they sort that out. But Philly Fanatic, number one all time in my heart. Thank you, Philly. Even though that Bleacher Creature needs to be better.
Okay, Gritty. Everyone knows Gritty. Probably one of the most
storming
famous
onto the
mascots
scene
right now. Very creepy figure. I know a lot of people that are afraid of this thing. But yeah, Gritty's awesome. Does some crazy stuff.
They also make a black jersey Gritty, which we don't have. Sometimes I just want to have one of each. Sometimes we'll end up getting multiples. They make a black
As you'll
jersey
see here in a second.
Gritty, but Gritty is a great one. That was sold out instantaneously. I had to pre-order it. Okay, down to our final two. Shay, give me that one. This super, super new one is, what's incredible about this is a 20-inch Bleacher Creature. So again, they started with 14 and 10, threw in like an 8, and then they had the minis. To my knowledge, this is the only 20-inch Bleacher Creature, and who better to be the first 20-inch Bleacher Creature? Well, hey, if Gritty wants to talk into the mic, Gritty can talk into the mic. But this is incredibly well done. Probably almost about 1.5 feet tall. One of my favorite pieces that we have. Came to us last Christmas. What an amazing gift. Gritty, 20-inch. I'd love to see him make a Fanatic.
Careful of the mic, dude.
He's got to do what he's got to do. He's bored these days, so if he wants to talk, he wants to talk. Gritty, amazing
What
job.
is wrong with you? You are weird, dude. That took out like half of them.
He did take out half of them. Last one.
Last but not least, the first ever Bleacher Creature I got. The first one they ever made.
First one made was a 14-inch
Chase Utley. Chase Utley, you can see the little patch right there for facial hair. He did have that, which is pretty funny. They really got this one right. Utley on the back. One of my favorite players of all time, or my favorite player of all time, favorite athlete of all time. Always carried himself really cool. And if you get the chance, go on Twitter and look up and find the clip of him after his first MLB game, after he hits a grand slam. John Kruk and Larry Boa pull a prank on him, which is pretty funny. And yeah.
We met him outside of Chase Field, him and Jim Tomey. And he signed for us, was very generous. Always appreciative of that. He
also signed a helmet for us when he was
with the Dodgers. We had a bit of sad news, but we had named our dog Utley after Chase Utley, and he passed away just a few days ago on Sunday. But we'll always remember him. And Chase Utley, my second all-time favorite player, right behind Mike Schmidt. But it's iconic that was the very first Bleacher Creature ever made. So as we go forward, real quickly, what's a Bleacher Creature that you'd like to see made that hasn't? Assuming they could get the licensing back.
Harper.
With Phillies, you're going to go Harper.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go Sixers. I guess you'd say
Michael Scott.
Yeah.
So you can have all the tattoos.
If you went tattoos, yes, Michael Scott. Otherwise, I guess you'd be looking for Tobias Harris. Eagles that they haven't made, obviously Miles Sanders would come to the top of that list. And hockey, let's see, they did make a Carter Hart, so they could go. I'd like to see Provorov, or
do they have Konechny?
Honestly, Konechny or Morgan Frost. So there's tons of choices you could make. Soccer, who do you want to see?
Sebastian Letou or El Sino.
El Sino would be a great one. That's Shay's favorite. That's who she would. Also, if you're out there, Bleacher Creatures, we need you to make U.S. women's national team figures. Funko Pops are coming out for those, but we love an Alex Morgan or a Carly Lloyd, or a variety of other ones. U.S. women's national team Bleacher Creature. So 10-inch fine, 20-inch, 80-inch, life size, whatever. We'll probably buy it because we love Bleacher Creatures.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode. See you next time. Bye.
Shay, during the episode.